This is the Iida 2021 competition brief. You're given a building. We don't have any elevational section drawings, so we're going to have to interpret. We have some kind of column grid, right, with steel columns, kind of a thick exterior, lots of windows, a stair here, and we're told that the ceiling height is 108 inches, so there's 9 feet to the ceiling. Let's guess it's 10 feet floor to floor. Right, so if you want to lay this out in Revit, you're given 2 Autocad drawings. Let's see what they look like. Start Autocad. And we'll navigate over to that folder. Just select both of them. See what we have. No surprises here. So start Revit. And we're basically going to import the Autocad plan. You could do this in SketchUp as well. We'll do that in a separate lesson. Create a new project. Always use the architectural template. Construction template creates extra levels that you don't need, like foundation and basement plan. And when you're bringing in an Autocad file, you want to insert a link to that file and not the import itself. So link Autocad. You probably want to copy these all down to your working folder. I'm navigating over to my handout location. Where is it? There it is. Let's select this first one. Right. So when it brings it in, it automatically pins the drawing. You have to unpin it so that you can move it over to the middle. Let's move these elevation markers so they're outside the model. So now those views will point to the elevations which do not yet exist. Might be a good idea to draw some grid lines, because this is a grid-based drawing of columns, right? From the architecture menu, grid, start the center point here. We're going to assume that there's a logical system. So why am I drawing grid lines? Because it'll make it easier to draw the columns. Grid is slightly different in the middle. I'm not sure that's going to be useful. Let's see what's going on here. Alright, so there's something there. Let's just go to the very end. I don't know which way is pointing north in this building, so let's just array these, create a few of them. Create an array group. It automatically groups them. Let's ungroup them so we can move them independently. So that might be a grid line there. I'm just going to roughly guess. Let's say that one is the whole wall. That sort of facade there. Copies. There. That might be sufficient. Some irregularity there, right? Let's see how thick those walls are. Roughly 16 inches. Dreadful drawing. It's different everywhere, so let's guess that if we draw 2-foot walls, we can sort of plow around it So I'm going to select wall, first of all, elevation, right? Level 1 to level 2. The Revit defaults to 10 feet between levels. So that's going to suit us fine. We said the ceiling height was 108. So it's a safe guess to say the floor-to-floor height is 120 or 10 feet. Go to level 1, architecture wall, and let's create a new generic wall type. Duplicate, call it generic exterior wall, 2 foot exterior. And let's set the thickness of that wall to 2 feet. And I'm going to draw from level 1 to level 2, and I'm going to align location line, finished face exterior, draw in a clockwise direction, start at the top left. Right? I'm not going to worry about these little indentations. It's not clear what's going on back there. We'll guess that you can just draw right through all this. That might be a little bit more than we can ignore, so I'm going to draw that indentation. Keep drawing the wall. Maybe I'll start another one. Let's make a guess at some massive thickness for a column. Draw a detail line and see what we have here. Let's imagine I have something like this. 1/8 by 2/6 architectural column. One 8 by 2/6. Let's make it an even. Let's duplicate this. 2/6 would be 24, 30 by 30. 30 by 30. Depth 30 inches. And the width 30. Draw out the intersection of my grid lines for lack of better information. So one strategy could have been just draw the columns and then draw the walls between them. We're not given very much information about this. We probably don't need to draw this area, but I'm just going to put a column in there anyway. So if you draw at the intersection of grid lines, if you move those grid lines, then the columns will move with it. So that's convenient. I didn't put one there. Is there anything here? Not missed the intersection there. We'll talk about what we have when we get to the end of this. Identical instances. All right, forget. So we go to this quick 3D view, and we get something like this. Kind of messy looking, but it's about what's going on in the model. So they've told us something about the windows. It's not there. Windows sill, so 36-inch windows. I think we read in the brief that windows were 5 feet high. Click here to view the floor plans. Come on, somewhere in there. We're just going to make them 5 feet high. So, window. Wrong program. Revit window. Fixed window. Let's edit the type. Height is going to be 5 feet. Sill, default sill. Oh, the width of the window. Let's make a guess that they're 4 feet wide. Let's go to the floor plan. Start drawing windows. It wasn't a bad guess. Some of them appear to be, they're drawn kind of irregularly, so I'm just going to draw a few of them in between about where they appear. No regard to the sills. Okay, you don't need to watch me do all this. I'm going to finish this and then just restart the video when I'm done. So I've drawn all the windows in the same size. Alright, let's go to a 3D view and see what we have so far. All the windows are the same size. You can adjust that later. Now we're going to draw the middle area. And I'm first going to draw the columns and then draw the walls around them. They're quite clearly not part of the, it's all grayed out, so I imagine it's not in contrast. So I'm going to put columns at the intersections of the grid lines. Let's go back to the plan. I'm just going to stick columns about where they belong, because the drawing is rather inaccurate. I think we drew columns at the perimeter. Alright. Let's draw a continuous interior wall that defines the boundary with a finished face interior. And again, choose a generic wall. You can modify it later. A generic 6-inch finished face interior. Let's see if that gives us what we want. Yeah. I'm not certain what's happening here, so let's just draw right past all of this through the columns. Well, alright, somehow we have to connect that. So let's continue drawing here, and then drawing here. I'm just bounding out creating boundaries for the interior area. So imagine it doesn't matter what happens out there. Does that sound reasonable? I have to look at the brief. If you wanted to, you could define the boundaries for the common area or the corridor area, whatever that is. Doesn't seem to be a door to the outside, so this is probably an upper floor somewhere. Let's see what we have so far. Alright. And then you have some representations of doors over there that this may be a curtain wall. That right, looks like we have double swinging, opposite swinging doors. A double door opening outwards. Okay. Let's go to the plan. The selector. Change back to hidden line because we can see where the doors are. I'm just going to select our default 36 by 84 door and duplicate it where we need it. So let's say there are two of them here. We'll change the swings later. Here and there, swinging opposite ways. So that lets us into the space that we're designing. There's no entrance over there. Windows along here. And so in about 25 minutes you ought to be able to get that far. If these are glass doors, you can change that afterwards. If you want to draw a ceiling, go to level 1, ceiling plan, And architecture ceiling, we did say the ceiling was going to be at 9 feet, right? 108. And so it'll actually sense the boundaries. No, we can't do that. Let's just, it's a bad idea to do automatic ceilings when you can avoid it. So let's just do ceiling. Two by two. And I'm going to draw just going to sketch a bunch of rectangles and then combine them. So that should cover all of the other. Not terribly realistic because it should go against the wall. Let's see if we can trim all this up. I think there's enough information, right? 3D view. Let's cut a couple sections. So, view section. Let's do a long one. The opposite way. Looking that way. And how about a cross section? Looking down that way. Right. Oh, we didn't draw a floor. Let's do a floor at level 1. We'll draw the outline of the floor. It's going to be quickest to just go around this perimeter. Not being terribly careful with it. We need an opening for that stair, but I don't think we're representing more than one story here. Generic floor. Finish. Let's go back to our section views. Right. Section 2 is that cross section. Okay. Half hour is enough.